Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. It is Thursday morning here, the 30th of January. So we're almost at the end of the very first month of 2025. And you know what I'm going to say? My gosh, it's going fast already. It is going fast already. Here we are. Almost about to hit February, which means, of course, my cookbooks are due to land. I've been told any day. In fact, I know that they're on the Sydney ports now. I have been told that they have been unloaded from the ship, which means they're actually here in Australia, out the window behind me. You see that window behind me? They're out that window, somewhere down there on the ports. Good morning, Janine. Good morning. So they are here. We're just waiting for them to be delivered to us now. So really exciting. Bit of an update for you guys. The books have landed in Sydney, which is fantastic, which means now we're waiting for them to clear customs. And once that is done, they will be shipped to my warehouse here in Sydney, where we can, of course, begin the process of sending them out to everyone who has pre-ordered their book. So great news. It's still time for you, if you want to enter into our competition. We're not going to stop this competition until, where is it? Do I have an image of it? No, I don't. Oh, why don't I have an image of it? I don't have one, but here we go. This is what I've got. There you go. We're going to keep that competition going, which is if you pre-order your copy of Bridget's Healthy Delicious, which is now landed here in Australia. The books have landed. You then will go into the draw to win this 5-star weekend for 2 in Sydney, catching up with the team here, hopefully attending the launch party that we'll be having for the cookbook here in Sydney. If we can get you here at the right time, we will do that, and you win the prize. Of course, it's for 2 people. You get to bring someone who you love, someone who you care about. You get to bring anyone that you like to that gourmet 5-star weekend for 2. All you do is order your copy of Bridget's Healthy Delicious, which is very exciting to know that it's landed. So that was news that I received just this morning on the old phone here. I'm just checking actually to see if there's been an update, because I sent back the information back to the person who's doing the shipping for us. Very excited. Yes, the books have arrived. Now is a question of how long it takes to unload and process. So the vessel is due to leave Sydney early Sunday morning. So everything will definitely be off the ship in the next 2 days. So very exciting. Yes, the book is on its way. So good morning to Claudia and to Ruth and to Helen. Good morning to Daphne. Good morning to Ida, and good morning to Debbie. So that was the first bit of news. The second bit of news that I had for you guys was that we have a book launch happening in Auckland, New Zealand. So I'm going to just pop up that for you guys as well. Book launch is happening because we are going to New Zealand at the end of next week, which we have decided to host a book launch while we're there. Now, it was a bit impromptu. It was all depending on whether the books had arrived or not. And it looks like they're going to be here before we fly out at the end of next week. It's going to be close. The timing's going to be really close, but I think we can get the job done, which is super exciting. So yeah, the book launch in in Auckland is going to be happening on Wednesday, the 12th of February. It is hosted in Auckland. It'll be hosted in Auckland for you guys. There it is, 12th of February on a Wednesday in the evening in Auckland. And really good news. I think, actually, I shouldn't say that. I haven't checked. I'm not even sure if there's tickets left. I forgot to check before I came on live. There was a couple of tickets left this morning, but I did post that out this morning. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't actually, you know what? I don't think there are any tickets left. I don't think there are any left, unfortunately. Let me have a look. If you guys can be patient, I'm jumping onto the website now, just to let you know if there's any tickets left. I do apologize if I jump the gun here. Let me see. I'm just going into the company that I'm using to help me to manage the tickets. Okay, looks like there is none left, I'm afraid. So that is now gone. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking that off. I'm putting a hold on it. I do apologize if you just listen to this and got a little bit excited. I do apologize. The tickets are now officially gone. I'm putting a hold on that. So we are done, I'm afraid, guys, which is obviously not ideal, but our venue does have a capacity, and I've just noticed that we've hit capacity. So a big apologies if you had wanted to come to the book launch. Tickets done, but you know what? If you ask me nicely, I might be able to fit you in. So if you do want to come to the book launch, contact me personally, hit me up personally, and I'll see what I can do. You never know, right? And I'll put together a bit of a waiting list as well, just in case we get anyone who can't make it. So that was another bit of exciting news. Another bit of exciting news. I better check before I say this one. I don't want to say too much, and then you guys are like, hang on, that sold out, which is unfortunately what happened to the book launch. But we went live last night. Let's see if that's still there. We went live last night with chocolate, yes, and it looks like there is a couple bags of our dark smooth as chocolate still available. If you would like to purchase some chocolate, I do have a few bags full of that available. See, I checked that one. I didn't just go out and say, oh, we've got chocolate without checking like I did with the book launch tickets. We do have some chocolate left if anyone is keen on buying chocolate. That is still left in our store. Just go to www.bridgets.shop and you can pick up a couple of bags. This will be the last chocolate we get in probably until after Easter. Just looking at it and I'm just keeping an eye on the weather and making sure that we don't have really crazy weather happening here, in Australia where your chocolate might melt pretty much. So I am keeping an eye on that as well. But it's still there, just in case you're wondering. It is still there. You can purchase your chocolate and stock up now. So lots of exciting things happening. I've been working like crazy on the new Boost Camp meal plan. That is, these are the recipes that I need to rewrite. There's lots of them. Can you see? There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. There is, I don't even want to count that, but that is my job in the next couple of days, is to be writing those recipes up. I've created the meal plan. Now it's a matter of just writing the recipes up. They go from my brain to the piece of paper to my kitchen. They get tested again. They go back into my brain. Then they go onto another piece of paper and they come into my office where I print everything up. So there's a bit of a process involved. The next Boost Camp is going to be an anti-inflammatory approach as well, just in case anyone is interested in that. In fact, we should all be, thank you, Helen. Thank you, by the way, I just saw this. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I'd do a hat today, even though my hair's looking quite nice. I decided I wanted to wear a hat today. So thank you for that, Helen. So yes, we have this anti-inflammatory approach to Boost Camp, and it's what I'm trying to achieve with the Boost Camps now is that we deep dive into little areas, and if left unchecked, these little areas become quite problematic. One of the ones that we covered in this current Boost Camp, and this was all about it being a gut reset. So for many people, not understanding or taking into account how their gut microbiome, the health of your gut microbiome can affect your health and your weight long-term throughout your life. And even we're talking about even the gut health of our children, the gut health of younger people as well, and how that can impact us, rightly or poorly as we age, or just, every day we're aging, right? Whether we're going into our 20s, our 30s, our 40s, 50s, 60s, or 80s, we're all aging, and understanding that balance that needs to be maintained when it comes to our gut microbiome or the gut bugs that call us home, and how they can impact us positively or impact us very negatively. So that was this current Boost Camp that people have just started, or they're halfway through, just over halfway through week 3. We've had some amazing results for people, like amazing. And I love just the comments that are coming through from the community as well, talking, of course, about weight loss, which is for many of us is an important part of the equation, but the health benefits that people are experiencing. One lady posted yesterday or the day before about how she's noticed the impact that the Boost Camp over just the last couple of weeks is having on her heart health. She monitors her heart, her heart rate, and as a registered nurse, she's someone who's very much across these types of conditions, and also keeping an eye on what's happening with her internally. So for her, it's been a real revelation on how quickly Boost Camp has positively impacted how her heart is behaving. We have people talking about how their blood glucose has literally halved within 2 weeks, lost 6 kilos and halved their blood glucose reading from a 14 down to a 7. And by the way, 14 is diabetic type 2, 7 is completely normal. And that happened within 2 weeks. And I love to see these comments, because one of the things that, as I was saying, that I'm really focusing on this year when it comes to our Boost Camp journey is understanding how our gut microbiome impacts us throughout our life. Understanding in the next Boost Camp how pro-inflammatory foods, so that are foods that causes inflammation in your body, how that impacts us compared with anti-inflammatory foods, which is the stuff that I'm going to be leaning into when it comes to the new recipes in the meal plan on Boost Camp, on how an anti-inflammatory response affects our body. What happens when we are focusing on the anti-inflammation foods as opposed to the pro-inflammation foods? And the really scary part of that is majority of foods that we have eaten, especially now modern lifestyle, and this is for the majority of people, and this is the types of foods that they eat the most of, are pro-inflammatory foods. They cause the body to create inflammation. They cause the body to hold on to inflammation. And where inflammation lives, so does disease, illness, and obesity. And so understanding that role that inflammation plays in the body, also understanding the role that your blood glucose response plays in the body as well. So these are the types of Boost Camps we're going to be leaning into. But one of the questions I get most often when we do Boost Camps is because there is an option on Boost Camp. And I'm going to say good morning before I continue it. Good morning to Kirsty and to Michelle. Good morning to Meryl and Linda. I can also see Angela. Good morning. Good morning. Rosemary. Good morning. Cheryl, thank you. If you're referring to my hat or just the fact that I'm very cute, thank you on both. Good morning to Cecilia and also LJ as well. This is just from Kirsty saying, my sleep is so solid now. I hear you. Last night, I had probably one of the best sleeps I've had in a very long time. And my sleep, by the way, I protect and guard my sleep. So I look after my sleep. But last night was exceptional. Last night was one of those ones where you go to sleep at a reasonable hour after a hugely busy day and a very late gym session, I must add as well. Like, I didn't get home from the gym till nearly 10 o'clock last night. And what I did find when I was doing that earlier on, when I first started back at this consistent gym interaction that I'm having, if you can say that, one of the things I noticed was that I was a little bit wired after working out so late. So I've got a bit of a hack, actually. I've worked out a bit of a hack that can help me to cool down and relax and unwind really, really quickly. One of those things is I jump in and I basically have a warm shower. That always helps my body to start to relax. The lights are already dimmed around the house, so that's not too much of an issue. But one of the things I've noticed that's really helping me is I will actually have an electrolyte drink when I get home from the gym, which sounds really odd, right? But I'm pretty dehydrated. And that electrolyte drink, that magnesium powder that I'm using in there, is one that's really beneficial for helping us to get ready to sleep. So having my electrolyte drink after my gym activity, I hit that bed and I woke up before my alarm, 10 minutes before my alarm this morning. That was it. There was no rolling around. There was no uncomfortableness. I just went straight to sleep woke up this morning 10 minutes before my alarm. I was just like, that is awesome. It was one of those sleeps. It was absolutely fantastic. So this is from oh no. Oh, that's really good to hear. This is just from Suzanne saying that she is no, it was not no to you, Suzanne, by the way, your comment, but saying that she's having really amazing results from eating all of the probiotics. And it's really amazing to know that we can get such incredible, gut healthy results from food. I mean, food is medicine, and eating your prebiotics and your probiotics is such a better form of getting probiotics into your body. So I would recommend you eat your probiotics and your prebiotics ever before you take a capsule. Capsules are just, unfortunately, they just don't have as many probiotics and prebiotics as food does. And not only that, a lot of the probiotics get killed thanks to stomach acid, whereas if you're eating your probiotics and you're eating your prebiotics, it's actually getting to where it belongs, which where it does all the work, which is in your large intestine. So really great to know that people are really enjoying this camp. Now, one of the questions I get asked often throughout camping life, because we do have a bonus protocol. I call it a bonus protocol when it comes to Boost Camp, because as well as having obviously world-class, award-winning recipes that I've created for you guys, the nutritional plan that I've designed is balanced, it's dense, it doesn't require supplements, unless of course you've been told from your doctor or healthcare professional that you need supplements. Just remember that, don't go willy-nilly taking stuff. Go see your doctor, get some blood work done to know whether you actually really do need them, because there's a lot of expensive pee going around, put it that way. So we've got this amazing recipes, these amazing meal plans, and all the shopping lists and everything that we put together for Boost Camp. But you get the option as a camper to either be known as a fresh or a fast camper. So a fresh camper is someone who is new to camping. So maybe it's your first time ever doing a Boost Camp with us. I recommend you become a fresh camper. So you get into the habits and behaviors of eating the food, doing the shopping, cooking the recipes, and hopefully joining us on these little lives, joining us on our coaching calls that we do, two of those during the camp, live coaching calls, reading your daily emails, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot to take in if you're just eating the food and then doing some of the educational piece that we also do when it comes to Boost Camp. And that's a fresh camper. Follow the meal plan, eat the food. Now, if you are decide to become a fast camper, this is for someone who's done fresh camping before. So they're not new to Boost Camp. They're in a bit of a flow. They've got their wits about them when it comes to understanding how Boost Camp works. So they're not feeling as overwhelmed as they may have felt when they first started Boost Camp. But fast camping is also for anyone who has previously done or does do time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. So you get the bonus of adding a fasting protocol onto your Boost Camp journey, which basically means that for a certain number of hours in the day, so we take up that 24-hour clock, for a certain amount of hours in the day, you do not consume food. You basically are in a fasted state. And then for a certain hours during the day, we call this your eating window. This is where you consume all the food. Now, the question I always get asked is there an ideal fasting time, daily fasting schedule? And what happens if I can't eat all the food during my eating window? So let's first tackle the idea. Is there an ideal time frame for daily fasting? And absolutely there is. And this is where fasting can be problematic. Because here's the thing that every single one of us needs to be aware of, especially if you are considering fasting or you're currently fasting. You cannot out-fast a poor nutritional intake. What that means is that you could be fasting for 22 hours a day and only eating for 2 hours a day. But if that 2 hours that you're eating is not nutritionally dense, it's pro-inflammatory, it spikes your blood glucose, it's highly processed, it's high carbohydrates, etc., 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 it does not matter that you're fasting for 22 hours. It's what you're consuming within that eating window that can do you some serious damage. So fasting is not the answer to everything. And often, and I think this is a lot to do with kind of the social media space and, the amount of information that's out there. I'm not saying that information is right or wrong. There's just a lot of it. And, everyone's got their opinion on certain elements of health, even fasting. But what I'm sharing with you is not my opinion. This is science. This is based on biology, and this is based on what your body needs and what your body does not need. Because if you're putting things into your body that your body does not need and that your body can't use to give you good health and good life, then, what doesn't matter how much fasting you're doing if what you're actually putting in when you do eat is not ideal. And unfortunately, and this is where fasting has kind of been, I suppose, it's been abused to a certain degree, because people think, well, I'm fasting, I can break my fast with whatever I want, I can eat whatever I want because I'm fasting. Whereas this is the wrong way to look at it. So the ideal fasting period for anyone is a fasting period or an eating window where you can eat all your food. Because the most important thing you're ever going to do for your body is not fast. The most important thing you're ever going to do for your body is eat the right nutrition. It's like, consider it like putting really good fuel into your vehicle, or the worst quality, highly degraded, crappy, full of impurities type of fuel into your car. Now, your car will run for a bit, but eventually those impurities in the food, that lack of quality in the fuel, that you're putting into your car, eventually those impurities will start to clog up the engine, won't they? And it's exactly the same with the body. So even if you are fasting a certain amount of time during the day, if when you are putting the food in, it's not good quality, it doesn't matter, because your engine will still continue to break down. And when it also comes to fasting, and you're fasting so much that you're only eating a very small amount during your eating window because your fasting time is so long, you actually run the risk of under-consuming nutrients. And what the body will do when it feels like it's starving, because that's what nutrient deficiency is, it's starving the body of what the body needs to give you good health. When the body feels like it's starving, it'll actually shut down processes that would normally be happening for you if you're eating enough of the right food. One of those processes that shuts down is metabolism. So your metabolism begins to slow if your body feels like it's not getting enough nutrients. And as your metabolism slows, your ability to burn fat basically gets shut off. So always consider your fasting time, and please feel free to ask me what those are. Always consider your fasting time is short enough so that you can eat all the nutrients, you can eat all the food. Food is medicine, food is healing. And if you're not getting in the nutrients because you're fasting too long, you run the risk of becoming nutrient deficient. You run the risk of your metabolism slowing down. You run the risk of not having enough energy. You run the risk of not having the things that the body needs to go through its natural health and healing processes that happen every single day. One of the biggest things I see from people who fast too long and don't eat all the food on Boost Camp is they don't have enough energy to get them through the day. They tell me about these times where they're feeling just flat, or they get to a certain time in the afternoon and they start craving sugar. And that's often because they're fasting so long that they're not giving their body enough time to eat all the nutrients, so the body can't produce enough energy, because food is energy as well. Food, when done right, is the energy your body needs to get you through the day and sustain you through the day. So the ideal fasting time means that you get to eat all the nutrients in the food. With Boost Camp, there is 3 meals a day. Now, what some people do is they combine their breakfast and lunch together, and then they have dinner. So they're having Still three meals, but they're condensing it down into 2 times that they sit down and eat. Me personally, I've actually evolved. I used to do that as well, but what I realized is that I too was feeling a little bit of an energy flag throughout the day. So now I'm back to eating 3 square meals a day, or 3 meals a day. And those 3 meals a day, that fits within my eating window. So personally, I have an eating window because this is what works for my time frame. I have an eating window of 8 to 9 hours. So I space my 3 meals out between 8 to 9 hours, which means I fast on average between 15 to 16 hours a day. That for me is ideal. It works with my schedule, or I've worked my schedule around it sometimes. It works with my schedule. It gives me enough gap in between to have a rest before I have the next meal. And it ensures that I'm getting all the nutrients that my body needs. If I was to go to a longer fasting period, 6 hours is just not enough to eat 3 meals. Let's be honest. It is just not enough. And so potentially, if I was to go to an 18-hour fasting period with a 6-hour eating window, I would only get 2 meals in. That means there's a whole third of my nutritional day that I'm missing out on. There's a whole third. I mean, 18 hours is actually a really long time to fast too. I'll be challenging myself every single day to do that 18 hours. Chances are I'll be hungry. Chances are I'll be snacking. My energy will definitely be depleted because I'm just not eating enough of the right nutrition. And quite frankly, I've tried it before. I'd be miserable because that's what happened in the past. So you've got to do what works for you. That's really important. But you've also got to do it and give yourself enough time that you're actually eating the food. Because I will say this until I am blue in the face. The most important part of your health and your journey to health, whether it's weight loss as part of it, whether it's getting rid of medication, whether it's pre-existing health conditions that you want to reverse, whether it's type 2 diabetes, whether it's fatty liver disease, whether it's Hashimoto's, PCOS, whether it's Alzheimer's dementia or early onset, obviously Alzheimer's dementia, whether it's cognitive decline, whether it's brain fog, whether it's heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, whether it's all of these conditions which actually come under the umbrella, as well as certain cancers that come under the umbrella of nutrient deficiencies. So not eating enough nutrients and basically eating all the wrong food. And of course, there's obesity too. If you want to solve any of those problems, you've got to eat the food. No fast, you've got to eat the food. The food is the most important part of your journey. It always will be. It is 90% of your journey. 90% of your journey to health, being at the right weight for you, having all those health conditions that have been plaguing you reversed, comes from the types of foods and the types of beverages that you regularly consume. And if you're consuming more foods and beverages regularly, consistently, that are going to give you good health, it is inevitable that you will be healthy and you will be at the right weight for you. If you don't eat the right food because you fast too long, because you think supplements are the answer, they're not. Supplements are not food. Food is food. You chew food, right? That's food, not supplements, not fasting all sorts of crazy hours every day and missing out on what your body actually needs, which is food. Your body needs food. I had a conversation with someone a couple of days ago because they were convinced that a supplement they were taking was food because that's how it had been sold to them. It had been sold to them, this is just ground up vegetables, so you're eating food. No. Food is food. Don't try and, misconstrue it and think, well, I'm just taking these supplements, so I'm good. Actually, you've got to learn how to eat. You've got to learn how to shop. You've got to learn how to cook. These are all parts of eating food, is that you're in charge of it. And supplements are there to supplement a nutritional intake, not to be the buffer between you and illness. Because if you don't get the food right, you can be taking $300, $400, $500, $600 worth of supplements every single month. You can take as many as you like, but they're not going to do the job if you're not eating the food. So you can't outfast a poor nutritional intake. You can't out-supplement a poor nutritional intake. It's like you can't outrun a bad diet, right? You can't go to the gym and expect everything to be hunky-dory if you're not taking care of the most important part, which is the nutrition. Going to the gym, like fasting, like any type of supplementation, are bonus protocols, but you've got to get the food right first. So please consider your fasting. If you're someone who's been fasting for, longer than 16, 17 hours a day, and you're not eating very much, and when you do eat, it's not very well balanced, chances are you're nutrient deficient. Because look, don't get me wrong, there are some benefits to fasting. That's why I just naturally do it. In fact, I don't like to say I fast anymore because it started to get kind of like an uncool rap. So I don't go around saying to people, "Oh, I'm fasting. I'm fasting now." There's no way, because if I'm not eating, like I'm not eating, I'm fasting. It's just natural, right? But to say that I'm fasting for such a period, whereas I don't get enough nutrients, and as we get older, folks, as we get older, our body's nutrient requirements change. And like I said, whether you're 20s going into your 30s, or 30s going to your 40s, or 40s going into your 50s, your nutritional needs change. And it's so important, especially as we get up in decades, that we're meeting those new and different nutritional needs. Like one of the things that a lot of people don't, a lot of people have in the past, especially even on Boost Camp, have not recognized, is that when we age, we need more protein as we get older than when we are younger, which is crazy, right? Because one of the natural things that happens to the body as we age is our muscles begin to break down. That's just a natural part of aging. It's known as sarcopenia. And you can't avoid sarcopenia. You can slow it down. You can absolutely slow it down and bring it to a halt. And one of the ways that you do that is making sure that you are getting protein with every meal, 3 times a day. If you're not getting protein with every meal, I will guarantee you've got muscle wastage. And it's really, really hard to get muscle back if it's wasted away. So protein's really important as we age. Movement is really important as we age, because again, we've got to keep our muscles strong. But fasting, as I've said time and time again, it is a bonus, and it should only ever be attempted, daily fasting, if you are able to get in all of your daily nutrients. Because the last thing that you want to do, the last thing that you want to appear is frail, right? You don't want to become frail. And unfortunately, for many of our elderly, they start to become frail as their appetites decrease, as the fasting becomes more popular for people, and they're missing out on some of the most important parts, which is the nutrients. So the ideal time frame for fasting is making sure that your eating window is long enough that you get in your 3 meals a day. And those meals, of course, are very, very good for you. There is a lot of chatter online amongst the professionals about what that time frame looks like. Is it 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating? Is it 14 hours of fasting and 10 hours of eating? Is it 12 hours of fasting and 12 hours of eating? Now, I'm going to make it pretty simple for you guys. And like I said, I don't refer to myself as a faster. This is just what I do. This is my life. So provided you don't eat as soon as you wake up, delay your breakfast by a couple of hours, ideally 3 hours, that's a good fast, because you're not sleeping throughout the night. Let's say you're getting 8 hours in bed with not sleeping. That's 8 hours, and then you delay your breakfast by 4 hours after you wake up, which is a great time frame. Already, you're looking at a 12-hour fast. Good on you. Now, the other important thing is, so you delay when you have your breakfast. 3 to 4 hours is ideal, right? Delay your breakfast start. And at the end of the day, I always avoid eating within 3 hours of going to bed. So, taking all that into consideration, 3 hours before I go to bed, fasting. 1, 2, 3. I'm in bed for 8 hours. That's now taken me up to 8 and 3 are 11, right? By the time I wake up in the morning, I'm already 11 hours in. And then I usually do 4 hours, maybe even 5 hours between waking and having and having my breakfast. I'm 15 to 16 hours of fasting, and I'm not a faster. hard, fast rule when it comes to how I live my life. I avoid eating at least 3 hours before I go to bed, and I always delay when I have my first meal of the day in the morning by 3 to 4 hours. And hey, I'm fasting. It's easy, right? And I've still got enough time to eat all the delicious food, which is the most important part. You've got to eat the food. If you want to be healthy and you want to live strong and long and happy, you've got to eat the food. Fasting is a bonus. And like I said, there's a lot of benefits to fasting. You know, there are a lot of benefits, but make sure you eat the food because there's way more benefits in eating all the nutrition. So have a wonderful day today, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, be well and be safe. And I'll see you guys back here probably tomorrow. I'm at my desk all weekend doing meal plans, which is very exciting. So I'll see you guys online. Keep an eye out. Books are due to be in the warehouse any day now. Any day. Very exciting. We get to send them out to you guys. So have a great day, everybody. I'm off to a meeting. Take care. Be well. Be safe. And we'll talk to you guys all really, really soon. Bye, guys.